Welcome back. In Northwest News, every member of Washington State's congressional delegation voted in favor of legislation to reopen the government. There were more than 150 no votes among Republican members of Congress in last night's voting, but the 4 GOP members in Washington State all supported the bill. Washington was the largest state in the country in which all members of its delegation voted in favor of the legislation to reopen and approve more borrowing so America could pay its bills. Congressman Doc Hastings says a government shutdown is not sustainable for our community nor our nation. Neither is blindly continuing down the path of spending more than the government has each year. The Senate's short-term plan was not the solution I would have written, and while far from perfect, this deal is a temporary necessity to get the government up and running again. Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers says the government cannot work unless both parties talk and work together to find common ground and common sense solutions. She says House Republicans remain united despite splitting votes on yesterday's legislation. Construction is underway on a mile-long dike through Julia Butler Hansen Refuge for Columbian white-tailed deer near Calumet, Washington. The $6 million Corps of Engineers project on the Columbia River will replace a portion of a failing levee. If it gave way, high tides could inundate the refuge for the endangered deer species and possibly threaten State Route 4. The Daily News reports when the new dike is complete, the old levee will be breached, restoring about 68 acres of marshland as a salmon rearing habitat. The Washington Emergency Management Division says more than 860,000 people were registered to drop, cover, and hold during an earthquake drill this morning. It's an increase when compared with 710,000 in last year's Great Washington Shakeout. A large earthquake is considered inevitable at some point in the Northwest future because of shifting plates in the Earth's crust. A sudden release would cause an earthquake that could cause significant property damage and loss of life. A large quake is also likely to generate a tsunami, which threatens coastal areas. The drill was an opportunity for people to practice dropping to the ground, taking cover, and holding on until the shaking stops. Schools, businesses, agencies, and families registered for the drill on the Shakeout website. Halloween is coming and a lot of people buy their candy early, which can lead to temptation and extra pounds before the holiday season is underway. One pharmacist found an easy method to track what he did to gain the weight. Here with the story is the Associated Press.
Leave a note to double check that in the morning because I don't think they should take that together.
Pharmacist Tim Davis decided one day he was tired of being fat.
I weighed 318 pounds. I wanted to not be the guy that people avoided when they started loading a plane.
Davis owns 3 pharmacies in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, where it's not exactly easy to eat healthy.
We give giant portions to everything. If it's not smothered in fried meats and cheeses, it's not a good meal.
Working out isn't any easier. This is what remains of one of the few gyms in the area. So Davis turned to wearable technology, like the Fitbit and the Nike Fuel Band.
The more information I was given, the more I was able to change my life.
Davis says his gadgets showed him he was a stress eater, and it helped him drop as much as 64 pounds. But Dr. Scott Gahan, who runs the Center for Weight and Wellness in Washington, says apps and gadgets can help, but aren't the complete answer to shedding pounds. In fact, too much data could backfire.
Just simply gathering data, but not knowing what to do with it. Or even worse, gathering data and then making judgments about yourself and then feeling worse about what you're trying to do, that can be really quite problematic.
Davis faced a different kind of problem, not keeping his devices charged.
And because I didn't charge the device, it didn't log my activity. And because it didn't log my activity, there was no reason for me to calculate calories for that day. And that started the ball just rolling downhill to where I put 40 pounds of weight back on.
Davis now has a system to keep all his gadgets charged, which has recharged his battle to lose weight. Noel Waghorn, The Associated Press.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.